welcome to the 100th Mile podcast. It is day 11 on Veer, the hardest ultra cycling race in the world. 4,000 kilometers the riders set out to achieve on a route across Western Europe, and some of them have now arrived. Yesterday, we covered the arrival of Adam in first place and Lucas in second, and there was a really difficult battle on third. Got race director Ian Toe here with me today, who's going to talk us through some of the action. He wasn't on the podcast yesterday because he's been in the thick of it, welcoming riders in. It's been busy, hasn't it?
It's been incredibly busy. We were up at 2 o'clock in the night greeting riders. So welcoming riders to Giovinazzo and going through the process of stamping them, looking after them after they finish it's been a real pleasure to see all of them.
The guys who are appearing at the front of the field are turning up as Christian did after 5 minutes sleep in 44 hours, he told us, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
So that was the battle I mentioned yesterday for third place between Christian and Bruno. Do you want to tell us, explain what happened there?
So congratulations to you for your prediction. I mean, Christian's a great guy. I really like him. Known him for a few years now. Great rider.
Well, you should have known then that he's got a berserker mode, as he refers to it.
He has a berserker mode, but I think credit to the next guy. We'll talk about him in a second. But Christian turned on berserker mode and rode through the night, barely sleeping. I mean, only power napping, and he's made it from 7th, and he made it to 3rd. So he completes our podium after Adam Bialek and Lucas Becker. Our podium is complete with Christian taking 3rd.
And he had a difficult start. Some suspect route planning early on.
Planning is a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
I think some bad route choices. Let's be clear about that. He made some bad mistakes.
You can say that, but his route choosing came through at the end, didn't it?
I think there was a lot of luck as well. But yeah, if we rewind to the beginning of Christian's entire race, he was up there with the leaders. Then he started puncturing. Maybe some bad luck there. He then rode over a rocky pass over the Sistema Central rather than taking the regular, most commonly taken pass, Puerta de Navacerrada, just north of Madrid. And we found him wandering amongst the woods, climbing over rocks, trying to get over there. He lost about 2.5 hours there to everybody else. So that's really where he lost a lot of time and probably damaged his tyres quite a bit. He's had 6 punctures in total. He's gone through a number of inner tubes. He's lost tubulars. This has all slowed him down immensely. I mean, if you calculate per puncture, it may take 10-15 minutes. That's at least an hour.
And to be fair to Bruno, that's not to say Bruno hasn't had his own issues along the way. All the riders have. It's a long time to be on a bike.
But Bruno was also absolutely storming the field. He was suffering from heat exhaustion on the first couple of days.
To give you an idea of just how good these riders are, Bruno told me yesterday, 2 weeks before the race, he recorded a 20-minute power of 5.6 watts per kilogram. So getting on to pro tour level there, aren't you? Those are some seriously good climbing numbers.
The domestic pro level, these are powerful guys, and they're doing it for a long period of time, and they're recovering, and they're dealing with the heat like Bruno. So Bruno stalked after the second day and sleeping in Segovia for, I think he said 8 hours. He went from 40th to 4th. That's an immense achievement, and that's why I was touting him for the 3rd place win.
Right, well, let's get into it. What happened then? What happened between the two of them?
Well, it seems that Christian very wisely slept a long time at Velodromo. He was there when we arrived, we left, and he was still there. He was still sleeping many hours later.
I think he had a good 8 hours.
I think so, yes. And so his sleep cycle was always out of sync from that point. He then rode through the night, and he stayed well within the top, say around the top 5, top 7, and overtook everybody. Didn't quite catch Lucas, but he did put in an impressive final stint, a double shift through the night to get to us yesterday.
Yeah, so he overtook Bruno as he was coming down the coast, and Bruno was inland in his favoured terrain up in the mountains or the hills.
Correct.
And he got ahead of him, and we saw him appear at 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and Bruno came in just under an hour behind.
Oh, yeah.
Good battle.
Sorry?
Good battle.
Yeah. Passed me in the night.
I did.
Sneaky pass.
That's what sneaky bastards do.
Okay.
And obviously the race was on to fill the final spot in the top 5. That went to Will Valsden. He arrived at about 6 o'clock in the evening, looking very, very tired indeed, didn't he? But he always seems to look like that when I see him.
I think he looks terrible. I think he always looks terrible. It may be due to how little sleep he gets. I think maybe he's rethinking his strategy because I think he realizes it's just not working. He has dropped from second before Italy down to 5th, but that's still an incredible result given the strength of the field here. He's been voted the worst looking rider by the other riders. Bruno was a close second.
Nice award to win, isn't it? Saying something. Maybe that's what he was going for. Then, local hero, local man, Michele Pagano, who we've been talking about quite a lot. He was less than an hour behind Will to come in at 6th spot, and he was greeted by his family and people from the community. It was really lovely, wasn't it? And you know, cracking ride. They were all very close to one another yesterday.
He's been incredibly consistent. Guys like Bruno have commented how he would stop every night at the same time between about 11 and 12, have a good sleep, and he would just be up there constantly in the top 10. Fantastic ride from a guy who's suffered from Sherman's neck. I do credit the aero bars, his training, his dedication. When we met him here in Giovinazzo in Easter, he was well up for this challenge. He only lives 23 kilometers from Giovinazzo, and so, of course, he's got the home advantage. He's riding home to his family, to his friends, and what a reception he received. They had signs, they had all the passion, that fire that the Italians have, welcoming him home. It was wonderful to see all the people coming out, the kids, the adults, cheering him on, clapping him on. Beautiful reception.
And I think what's been really nice as well is once the riders have finished, they've been making sure they get out there and wait for the next rider to come in and clap them home, because everyone's in the same boat. They all know what one another have been through.
That's right.
There's a lot of respect.
There's huge amounts of respect and friendship, even though they've been rivals out on the road for the last 11 days now. They all greet each other with such admiration and appreciation of the efforts that they've gone through, all the hardships they've suffered on the road. I know this myself. I've been there. It is a wonderful thing to be able to greet your rivals on the road, because then you just become friends. This is a sport where we share the same passion, same values, and integrity is a great thing to show amongst the riders. And we have a tradition now of blowing the horn for the next rider. So,
speaking of which, would you like to hold Cirrus?
Cirrus
the elephant. Before we get into what's happening behind and who's coming in today, we have our Hannibal segment of the day. Take it away, Ian.
I think I'll need earplugs next time. So, that's our fact of the day. So in Giovinazzo, why have we chosen this place as the endpoint for chapter 1? We're very close to Hannibal's final victory, his third great battle, Battle of Cannae. Cannae, the battlefield, lies only 50 kilometers from here. Cannae was the final victory that Hannibal took over the Romans, where he annihilated an army of 80,000, killing or capturing somewhere close to 3/4 of them. This in an age of battles where they were won by casualties only reaching about 10%. So he absolutely crushed them. And Rome was very close to surrendering. The entire senatorial class was destroyed. They captured all the rings of the senators. Carthaginians sent them home to Carthage in Africa, and in a sack threw them on the ground in front of their own senate to show what a victory had been won. But Rome didn't give up. This was Hannibal's final victory, final great victory, because after that, they avoided battle. The Romans just would not engage Hannibal in open conflict, and instead wanted to wear them down.
It's been a fascinating set of insights into Hannibal, a man I think a lot of people don't know much about. And we often think of the Romans as peerless, but I guess at the end of the day, the victors write the history, don't they?
Absolutely.
And these great victories, it's important to remember them because they did actually happen, even if they've been buried from a lot of people's psyche.
You're absolutely right. Hannibal was finally defeated in Africa, not in Italy. The Romans besieged Carthage, the city, and they just razed the city after capturing it. So there is very little left of Carthaginian culture and history. There are no written records of them. Very few. There's very little remaining.
Fascinating insight. Right, we'll go back to the race. Had Mark come in during the night, didn't we? He pushed through, riding like an animal, is what he told us the day before.
Mark Buchel did a fantastic ride. He barely slept as well. I'm not sure who slept least between him and Christian, but he's a real character, being a very un-Swiss Swiss. He has lots of stories from the road, lots of jokes to tell. He loves to be the butt of jokes. He has a group of about 100 people just absolutely taking the mickey out of him constantly on his WhatsApp group.
But he encourages that.
He
Yeah,
absolutely
he's orchestrated that.
Yeah, he does.
It's not like this race isn't hard enough, but to have 100 people mocking you the whole time. I don't know. He obviously likes the challenge.
It's a form of his motivation that he's chosen, and he seems to revel in it. I might try it myself. Mark was 7th. Chris will be for 8th. Yair looks like he's got a clear space between him and Yohani for 8th. So Yohani will be 9th. Alex should top out the top 10. But we'll see if Will Dixon can pull out another big push. He's made it so far to 11th. Sam Muscat is approaching him behind for 12th currently. But the two of them, the rookie battle continues. So it'll be really interesting to see, can either of them or both of them catch Alex Gruel for 10th?
Tall ask, I think, but who knows? Anything can happen. Especially with these levels of tiredness. Those boys out there, they're all pushing very, very hard at the moment. Let's have a look at one of the other races. Where are the women up to?
So Joanna is just about to reach the Strada Bianchi parkour. She's approaching the Strada Bianchi in Tuscany, very close to Siena, just east of Siena. It's only a 12-kilometer white gravel road section.
That's just a super ride, isn't it? She's right up there with the best of the men.
Yeah,
Not far behind at all.
and it's interesting to see just how far she's come. But she did make some fairly large routing errors around Bologna. She almost missed the gate at Cascata Pidiciatico. That's gate 9. Now Saz Harris is in Pistoia. I think she's suffering from the heat, but she is up and moving, so that's a good thing to see. She's posting stories of beige food on her Instagram. It's something that she loves, maybe. Don't know. We'll see what she eats when she gets here. So after Saz, we've got Anissa, who seems to be struggling past Torino. She's in the Po Valley. It's not the best of terrain, but you have to cross the Po Valley in order to get to the south. So I wish she gets across quickly and safely. Behind her, Fiona is just about to cross into Italy. After a very hard couple of days, struggling with knee pain, after she left Le Béziers, she was incredibly determined to carry on. We made sure that she was okay. She talked to her coach, Yasmin Muller, my friend, and she also spoke to her physio. I think they adjusted her position somewhat to activate her glutes so it wouldn't create so much knee pain. She's also riding without aero bars, which you could say is a rookie error and something to improve on next year, because the extra hand positions, it makes you faster. And I think she's done really well without that. So it's great to see how many people are supporting her. So good luck to Fiona. Sophie Gatto is past Le Béziers and heading towards Pas de Pérol, the 6th gate in the Massif Central. So we're glad she's still moving, and she's out to Spain into cooler climes.
And finally, the pairs category.
So in the pairs category, we have Remo Koch and Michel Bouchelli approaching Pasugodi. So they should be there sometime today, hopefully, and maybe they'll be with us tomorrow, maybe late tomorrow. The Swiss pair have been consistent. They've been enjoying themselves. I think they've been very happy on this adventure. They've been pacing it very well. They're followed by Matt Downey, who is in Pistoia, in Tuscany, so he's crossed over the Apennines. And behind him are the Italian pair, veteran Italian pair, Waltiero Rossano and Alberto Vaghi, or Wally and Alberto as they're known. They're approaching Sassuolo. They're very close to Maranello, which is the home of
Ferrari. Yes.
Yeah. And they will be heading towards the ninth gate at Cascata. Behind them, we have Steve Whittaker and Richard Mackey, who have successfully crossed into the Susa Valley into Italy from France. So they will be arriving at Velodromo, the seventh point and the second refuge near Torino.
I guess that leaves us to make our predictions for imminent arrival of the final athletes in the top 10. Who do you think is going to make that 10th spot?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I think spots 8 and 9 are taken. So, Chris Thomas, yeah. Yohani, will he take 10th? Probably. He's been very consistent. He is a very consistent guy, having done Northgate Tarifa, the 7,500 kilometer race just a week before starting Gavia. Alex Gruel is in 11th. My prediction is will pull out a big push and overtake Alex Gruel today. There is no other time better than this to not sleep.
And I think actually that's what Will tried to do yesterday. And he got a bit of a gap from Sam, but then I think it may have taken its toll. He had a number of hours sleep last night, and Sam's right back on top of him. And that battle's just been going on for a full week. So I'm excited to see who comes out on top in the end. But
yeah, Sam seems in really good spirits, and the mental game is so important. It's not just about the physical. If the brain's not working, the body doesn't work either. So it will be interesting to see who out of Sam and Muscat wins that rookie race.
well, that is
What's your prediction, though? You haven't given us ours. So, Sam or Will? Or Alex? Will Alex stay in?
well. I think I've been tracking the gap between Will and Alex, and it's been fairly consistent for a number of days. Alex is very strong, so I don't think there's enough kilometers left in front of them for that for Will to overtake him, unless something catastrophic happens to Alex.
You think Will's running out of road, basically, and
Yeah,
the gap's not closing?
and also Alex is, I think,
Alex has been
equally as
consistent.
strong as Will there. So,
Both Alex and Yohani have been consistently strong.
but I think that race between Sam and Will might be interesting. I think
It has been fascinating.
that might be the closest thing we get to a sprint finish coming into town. So,
I think if that happens, we'll be standing at the town sign to time them. Maybe we'll have a photo finish. I hope.
if we do, we'll film it and we'll definitely show you. So, yes, from us, we need to go back out there because Chris is coming in very shortly and we'll catch him. So tune in again tomorrow and we will give you the latest arrivals from the race. So from Ian and myself, thanks for listening. Please subscribe and like and share if you want to see more of this content this year and next year. And we'll try and get some interviews with some of the riders when they wake up from their comatose states tomorrow.
They are comatose. Ciao for now.